And now, ASAP Science presents the elements of the periodic table.
There's hydrogen and helium.
And now, the ASAP Music presents the famous composer, Claude Debussy.
Are you a fan of music history? And if you are, you're in the right place. Welcome to our channel. Today we will be talking about the famous guy from the Romantic period. He is Claude Debussy.
I never heard of this guy.
Well, now you're going to learn about him in detail.
So who is Claude Debussy?
Claude Debussy was a French composer in the Romantic era who is one of the well-known people in the field of Impressionism music. He was most known for his piano compositions, and he also has lots of great orchestra compositions. He developed a high original system of harmonies and musical structures and initiated the Impressionism style of music at the end of the 19th century, which brought a significant impact on the French music of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. He was...
Wait, before we get further, what is the Impressionism style of music?
What a nice question. The Impressionism style is music that focuses on the mood, emotion, atmosphere, and symbolism through the use of timbre, orchestration, and progressive harmonic concepts.
Oh, I thought it was a style in art.
Actually, you're correct. It is an analogy to the late 19th painting called Impression Sunrise by Claude Monet.
I know that guy. His paintings have lots of distinct thin brushstrokes, soft edges, and he changes the lighting that draws the viewer's attention to the entire impression.
Yep, and Debussy's music blurs the edges, which creates new harmonies and gives a dreamy characteristic to his music.
That makes more sense. Sorry for the interruption.
Not a big deal. So where are we?
We're talking about his life.
Oh, Soga. So Claude Debussy was born on August 22nd, 1862 in Saint-Germain-en-Laye, France. In 1867, he moved to Paris with his family and fled to Cannes in 1870 with his pregnant mother to avoid the dangers of the Franco-Prussian War. Do you need me to explain this war?
Nah, I know about this war. It is a conflict between the Second French Emperor, later the Third French Republic, and the North German Confederation, led by the Kingdom of Prussia.
Correct. Oh my god, you actually know something.
Pardon?
Oh, nothing. Let's continue. Debussy was born in a poor family, where his father owned a china shop and his mother was a seamstress, and he was the oldest of 5 children. However, poverty did not stop his love and enthusiasm towards music. At the young age of 6, he showed an affinity towards the piano and started his first piano lesson at the age of 7, taught by an Italian violinist named Cerruti in 1869. His talent in piano helped him win a place at the junior department of the Paris Conservatoire, and he started studying at the Paris Conservatoire at the age of 10. However, the Conservatoire finds his attempt in music really strange because he is exploring harmonies and dissonant intervals that they don't approve of.
What is dissonant intervals?
It is a combination of notes that sound unpleasant or harsh.
I got it.
At the age of 11, Claude Debussy studied composition with some high-flying French musicians, including Emile Durand, César Franco, and Ernest Gouraud. Music theory and history with Louis Albert Bourgault-du-Caudray, organ with César Franco, and solfege with Albert Lavignac.
Whoa, that's a lot. I was still watching cartoon at that age.
Yeah, same. I mean, there were lots of geniuses in that period who studied really hard at a young age, and he is one of them.
I guess one of the reasons is because people in the past didn't have the advanced technology of medication that we have today, and their average lifespan was much shorter than ours.
Yeah, sadly, and that's how the world develops. Their efforts in exploration have a significant impact on our world today.
Absolutely. Now let's get back to the topic. What happened after?
In 1880, Natasha von Meck hired Debussy to teach piano to her children, and Debussy traveled Europe with her children, and he began to accumulate musical and cultural experiences in Russia. He then turned towards them in his compositions, which greatly influenced his work. At the age of 22, he won the Prix de Rome with his cantata, which financed 2 years of further musical study in the Italian capital.
What is cantata?
Cantata is a vocal composition with an instrumental accompaniment.
I got it. Please continue.
During World War I, when Paris was being bombed by the German Air Force, Debussy got colon cancer at the age of 55 and died on March 25, 1918, in his Paris home due to cancer.
What a sad ending. Does he have any wives or children?
Glad you asked that. There's a very interesting story behind this. He was married to Rosalie Texier, who was a fashion model, in 1899 after threatening suicide if she refused him. However, Debussy was irritated by her intellectual limitations and lack of musical sensitivity, and she was unable to bear children. As her beauty fades away, Debussy was introduced to his second wife, Emma Bardak, by her son, who is one of his students in 1904. After dispatching Rosalie to her father's house on July 15, 1904, he secretly took Emma for a holiday. On August 11, he wrote a letter to Rosalie informing her that their marriage is over. 2 months later, Rosalie attempted suicide by shooting herself in the chest with a revolver. But she survived, and the bullet remained in her body for the rest of her life. In 1905, Debussy and Emma fled to England. Their divorces from their original partners were finalized. On October 30, 1905, their daughter, Claude Emma, was born. In 1908, they are married. And Debussy died 10 years later due to cancer.
Whoa, that's a long story. But by the way, how many pieces did he compose in his lifetime?
How did you move on so quickly?
What, should I sit here and grieve for Rosaline and the death of Debussy? Oh, poor Rosaline.
I'm fine with it, although it will be weird. Anyways, he wrote 57 stage works, 15 chorals, 8 orchestral works, 5 concertos, 15 chamber or instrumental music, 24 preludes, 12 etudes, 10 for-hands piano or 2 piano pieces, 33 piano solos, 57 melodies, 20 private or unofficial compositions.
That's a lot of work. What are some famous pieces?
I would say the Prelude à l'après-midi d'un faun, or in English, the Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun is one of his most famous pieces. And before I explain further about the song, let's listen to this amazing piece. So, how does this song make you feel?
Kind of dreamy and sensual. The rhythms sound really natural. It feels like there's no hard walls or edges, and the unrooted time gives me a sense of unbalance for some reason.
Nice summary! It is exactly how the song makes me feel. The Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun is a symphonic poem based on the poem L'après-midi d'un faun, written by Stéphane Mallarmé in 1865.
What is...
I know what you want to ask. Symphonic poems are orchestral compositions that were inspired by an extra musical idea, such as poems. The prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun is considered the turning point in the history of Western art of music and the beginning of modern music. Pierre Boulez, who was a French composer, conductor, and writer, once said that the flute of the faun brought new breath to the art of music.
I was so impressed when the flute came out in the beginning.
Amazing, right?
So, is that all?
Of course not. Another famous piece is called the Suite Bergamasque. Let's listen to this piece.
Sure, why not? Is that the whole piece?
No, it is only the third segment.
Why don't you play the entire piece?
Because it's the most famous movement in the Suite Bergamasque, and it's also my favorite part in this piece. This is the third segment in this piece called Clair de Lune, which means moonlight in French, and this name is taken from Verlaine's poem. It is a D-flat major song written in 9/8 meter for voice and piano accompaniment. He started composing this piece in 1890 at the age of 28, and it was not published until 1905. This piece refers to a folk song that was the conventional accompaniment of scenes of the lovesick Pierrot in the French pantomime, and it shows Debussy's connections with the circus spirit prevalent in the early 20th century.
Whoa, calm down, bro. It looks like you just have some drugs.
I will never, ever consume drugs.
Friendly reminder, please do not touch drugs. They are addictive.
Now let's go on to the third piece, Arabesque. Let's listen to this piece.
No, God, please no. We don't have enough time for this. Just briefly explain this.
Fine. Arabesque is the first solo piano work published in 1891 when he was still in his 20s. It is considered the beginning of Impressionistic music, but since it is one of his earliest compositions, it still retains many romantic qualities, and there is only some Impressionism, which is less free-form than his later works.
That's very interesting. Did any other composer influence his compositions?
Yeah, of course. Do you think everyone is as genius as Albert Einstein?
Well, I don't know. At least I'm not, and you're not as well.
Yeah, you're right. Debussy was mainly influenced by Richard Wagner during his visit to Bayreuth in 1888, where he was exposed to Wagnerian opera. Like many other young musicians, he responded positively to Wagner's mastery of form and striking harmonies. In 1889, Debussy heard Javanese gamelan music at the Exposition Universelle in Paris, and he incorporated gamelan scale melodies, rhythms, and ensemble textures into some of his compositions. He was also influenced by Russian composer Alexander Borodin and Modest Mussorgsky, whom he met when traveling to Europe with Nada Shavamek and her family.
Nada Shavamek? Is she also a musician?
Nope, she was a Russian businesswoman. She hired Debussy as a music tutor for her daughters.
Oh, okay. Any more?
Debussy was also greatly influenced by Marie Blanche Vesnier, who was a singer when she began working as an accompanist to earn money. She and her husband, Henry, give Debussy lots of emotional and professional support, where Henry introduced Debussy to the writing of influential French writers of the time.
He was influenced by a lot of people. Now, let's pause here.
Oh, come on, there's more!
Nah, the audience are getting bored.
Are you sure it's not only you?
I'm not sure about others, but I'm getting bored.
Whatever. Let's finish this video with an interesting fact.
Sure, go ahead.
Aye, man. Although Debussy was the founder of Impressionism music, he does not like the term Impressionism to describe his music. He once quoted that, "There is no theory, you merely have to listen. Pleasure is the law." So if you invented a time machine, please don't describe his piece as Impressionism style in front of him.
Nope. If I had a time machine, I would travel back to 1564 and stop the birth of William Shakespeare.
Don't be so cruel, because you will never invent one.
What did you just say?
Well, that is it for the famous composer Claude Debussy. Thank you for watching. Next up, we will be talking about another famous composer.
No, thank you. I've heard enough.
寂しさは狂気だ人を傷つけてしまうそれに気づけなくなる愛しさは病気だ胸が苦しくなるよ直し方はないんだこの日は奇跡だでも何かが足りない埋まらない空欄君は不思議だその存在が僕を強く弱くもする僕らはどうかなうまいこと人間をできてるかなどうかなどうかな探りながら丸つけ優しさは積み木だ積み上げれば高くなるだけれど脆くもなる正しさは正義だだけど人は踏み外すそれを救うのは何僕らはどうかなうまいこと恋愛をできてるかなどうかなどうかな答えもなく丸つけ僕らはどうかな二人で人生をやれるかなどうかなどうかな願いを込め丸つけ人生は天気だ晴れたり降られたりするどちらも起こりうるどうかな傘なら僕が持っておくから 二人で一つになろう